Make Soil is a global movement asking people to come together in their communities, in their neighborhoods, around the simple and universal act of making soil. The world is facing so many challenges today, from the environment to social unrest to mental health to public health, nutrition. And it turns out that making soil together, all of us in our neighborhoods, in our backyards, in our front yards, is actually one of the most impactful and immediately available things that we can do to make a difference. The current situation is that we have food coming into cities, being consumed and leaving as garbage, food waste. Make Soil interrupts that pattern. Instead, we have food coming into cities, turning into soil, coming into cities, turning into soil. That means that the soil is staying in the cities and greening them from the inside out. At the current rate of topsoil degradation, the UN says we have 60 years of farming left. We're demanding so much from our topsoil. Every week when we go to the grocery store, the food we buy is just a little less nutritious than it was the week before. And rather than leaving that all to farmers, it's time for people in general, for the human species as a whole, to come to understand what soil is, how to respect it, how to take care of it, and how to regenerate it. When people make soil together, when they're left with bucketfuls of living, nourishing soil, the next thought immediately becomes, wow, I'd like to plant something. More people decide to start growing a little bit of their own food. Millions of people growing a little bit of food is a completely different food system. It's a resilient food system. It's a resilient society. We've got this big climate problem today, and the carbon that we need to get out of the air is being pulled out of the air by plants all the time and turned into things like leaves and grass and all the food that we eat. So we as humans can come together and capture all that carbon so long as we turn it into soil. If we don't, a lot of that goes up into the atmosphere. If we allow our food waste to go into the trash, it rots there and turns into methane, which is an even more potent greenhouse gas. If instead we know how to make soil, we can actually create a decentralized, distributed movement of carbon capture. That's the little piece of the climate situation that each of us has influence over. Millions of people making soil together really could have a massive impact on climate change. Right now, almost the entire economy is antithetical to nature and the thriving of the biosphere. So the economy needs to shift to being a regenerative economy, an economy that's actually good for the planet, as well as for the people who are working these jobs. Becoming a soil maker could be one of the first regenerative jobs to go mainstream. Making soil together is a beautiful way to build community. There aren't many things that we come together to do today that actually regenerate the planet and heal the planet. We have a lot of cultural pastimes. We have our sports and we go to movies together and things like this, but when people come together to make soil, it ends up being the first regenerative activity they've ever really participated in. We're literally coming together to heal the planet, to regenerate the planet, to work with the planet. There's an incredible sense of community that comes from doing that together. Mental health and well-being. We go through our lives touching plastic and metal and manufactured surfaces, but we're not almost ever coming into contact with nourishing living soil. When we touch the living soil, it's full of microbes that communicate to our skin, and I think that viscerally and subconsciously communicates to us that the planet itself is alive. We go from feeling lonely to feeling that we are immersed in a living system.